just got back from my session, played probably about 5 hours, and was pretty much card dead the entire time. And the times that I did catch hands, decent hands like ace, queen, or what have you, what ended up happening was somebody would have raised and somebody would re-raise, and I'd end up having to fold. Towards the end of the session, I had been sitting there and I hadn't played a hand in probably 10 orbits. That's 10 times around the table. So you figure 100 hands, I've just been sitting there folding and not really seeing the flop at all. And I decided, you know what, I got to start making some type of moves. And what ended up happening is I decided to run a bluff. A guy to my left raised 25. There were 2 callers. So there's 75 bucks in the pot. I bought in with 200 bucks. I had about 193, and I've been up and down a bit. I think the max I'd won at that point was 115, but I was back down to about 193, 195 or so. And so he raised to 25, 2 callers, or $75 in the pot. I looked down at 2-5 of clubs suited, so I just said, you know what, I'm just going to 3-bet 100 bucks, and I'm expecting the guy that raised to fold. So I put in 100 bucks into the middle of the pot, which is a standard raise, 100 bucks more, and he called. One of the other guys folded, and then another guy called. So I'm sitting here like, shit, excuse my language, I'm sitting there like, dang it, there's 300 bucks in the pot, and I have like $85, $90. They're never going to fold when I shove on the flop, and I'm going to shove on the flop no matter what comes out. And the flop came 4-8-8. I shipped my 90 bucks in, and both of the players folded. And I was amazed that I won the hand. There was no other way to win the hand, so it wasn't check and then hope they, you know, show down. It was what put all my chips in. That's the only way that I would have won, is if they would have folded. So I did it. I made the bet because, you know, I knew I had 2-5, but they sure in the heck didn't. They thought, based on the way I played it, I had aces or kings. They really put me on 2 types of hands. That's it. I hadn't done that at all the entire session, put that much money in pre-flop and then a continuation bet afterwards. So they put me on aces or kings, and they folded both their hands. And I played the hand well, I think. You know, I represented what I wanted to represent, and I played tight as hell. So I knew that there was a huge chance that they would believe me. I was quite surprised. They did fold the 90 bucks, and there's 300 out there, so they're getting literally 4-1 to call. But if they put me on aces and kings and they have like 10s, jacks, queens, whatever, they're in a position where like we're beat, so no point in calling 4-1. So that was the hand that I had towards the end of the session. I played for about 5 more hands after that. I ended up $193 and pretty excited about the day. Played pretty well and ran a pretty huge bluff that worked and came up $193. So you don't even have to catch good cards sometimes in poker. It's just a matter of knowing what your table image is, how the other people view you, and representing hands to make them think that you have a pretty big hand. And most of the time that they'll fold. And I probably should have been doing more of the bluffing, not of that sort. You know, you typically don't want to bluff your whole stack like I did, but I was like, you know what, there's only one way to fold, get them to fold, and there's 300 bucks in the pot, and I won it, and I got it. So that's that. Look forward to next week, Thursday. I won't be playing the normal poker tournament. I'll be out of town doing some stuff, and same thing for the following week. I don't think I'm going to be playing poker at all the next 2 weeks, unless they have some place to go play poker down where I'm at. So see you guys in a couple of weeks. Take care. Later.